Difficulties things difficulties మాట్లాడగలిగే ఏకైక ఒక్కడుండి ఈ రెండు ఒకటే చెప్పాలి.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
చాలా ఫిల్టర్స్
obvious కదా Okay, we're just waiting for one person and then we'll start. Okay, before we start with the presentations, the school has sent you some review forms for the class. I would really appreciate if you can fill these honestly, and because based on that, we will see whether we'll, how much versions of this class we'll do, etc. So please do those reviews, and also it means whether I'm going to be more or less involved with school here. So that would be much appreciated. The second thing is
I just came from work. I have no
guys, please, let's just focus on whatever is being discussed when we're talking. So one thing I'm really asking you to do during these presentations is that this is not just about you presenting your stuff and then being done with it. You should also engage with the presentation of the other teams, ask questions, ask how they implemented something or not implemented something, just be involved with it, and please be respectful when they are presenting. Give your full attention so that they feel that their work is honored, right? So I think we should do that to each other to have this feeling that we've done something good, because you guys obviously put in a lot of effort to this. And today I had, with a few teams, I spent some time about their projects. They were, still ironing out some bugs. You can still come to me before next Thursday to finish things. If it's already finished today, that's perfect. But if you still need help, feel free to come to me or talk to me, or email me, whatever, we can in the next 48 hours, we can basically try to get things done. The other thing I would like you to do is once we get to the point where you really are happy with your project, right? You come to the point where you say, okay, I'm finished. I'd like you to do a screen recording of the functionality. So basically, you know, if you're doing it on a simulator device on the Mac, you have QuickTime Player where you can do screen recording of a section of the screen, and you can also, you know, put the microphone of the device to record your voice. So your voice, you can tell about the app as you're showing the app, etc. So let's try to make like a few minutes of video from each of your apps, so we can, like, you can use that also in the future as a showcase, because it's something that you can keep somewhere or in a YouTube unlisted channel, etc. But it would be a good part of that portfolio together to go with that repo. So if you don't know how to do that, recording your voice and also recording just that portion of the screen, not the entire screen, then either ask, you know, your friends or ask me. We can figure it out. I don't know how to do it on Windows, unfortunately, but I'm sure it should be a very similar process. So and I'll make sure that I'll put that as a requirement so that you upload that video or link to that video in the deliverables. And what else did I want to say? Okay, I mean, I think that's it. Group 7 wanted to go first because one of their team members needs to leave early for personal reasons. And so I will invite Group 7 unless there are any questions or comments before we start. Yes?
Will we get our quizzes back?
Yeah, I'm just talking to the grader about it. They didn't allow him to work during the Thanksgiving break or something, you know, some formality, I don't know. Anyway, I'll try to get it sorted. So, okay. So without further ado, let's invite Group 7 to the stage and see what they have done.
Hi everyone, we're Group 7 and we're going to give you a brief overview about our app. It's called Odyssey and it's geared towards solo travelers. So like I said, Odyssey is a mobile application designed for solo travelers and it integrates the whole 9 yards of the travel experience. It's discovering locations, it's networking with other travelers, and but at the same time, you integrate safety features, which makes it a more secure and engaging experience overall. So initial deployment for this app, it'll focus only on locations and experiences in the Bay Area. And the initial target audience will just include millennials. And the later version of the apps will just focus on expanding to different locations and experiences beyond just the Bay Area and also beyond just millennials. It'll expand to Gen X, Gen Z as well. So there are 5 key features which we're including with this app. The first one, of course, would be a secure user registration and login system with email verification, password recovery, profile setup, which includes selecting your locations and entering what kind of interests that you gear towards in a travel experience. The next one would be all about location-based explorations with personalized recommendations. The third feature is mainly to do with social networking with other fellow travelers. So you can post your reviews and ratings of a certain location. You can connect with other solo travelers. You can altogether foster a very supportive environment for other solo travelers as well. The fourth feature involves an interactive mapping system And this has basic search functionality, it has navigation controls, compass integration, it tracks your current location, and there are offline capabilities as well. And then you have the dual-tiered safety system, which offers basic features like location check-ins and emergency contacts and safety tips. And if you are a premium user, you unlock live sharing, SOS alerts, and offline resources. And finally, of course, there is the profile management where you can edit your details as well as upgrade your membership. So now I'll hand it over to Harshini, and she'll talk about her contributions to the home screen as well as the location details screen.
So firstly, in the home screen, we are going to display all the list of locations that are available. And here we have few functionalities like search functionality and filter functionality, which helps the user to get their required list. In the search functionality, you can search for a particular location. It supports like text, subtext searches and case insensitive search. And in the filtering functionality, we have two filters. One is the proximity and the other one is a category. In the proximity, you can select the range from 10, 20 and 100 miles from your geopoint location. And in the categories, you can select the nature, history and food categories, which helps you to narrow down the list of locations. And if you want to know more about the particular location, you can click on the location card. It will redirect to a location details page where it includes like multiple images of that location, and you can see a description of that location. The user can also see the reviews and ratings of that location. Here the user also can write a review of like that location and save the location for the future references. Here I have used like to store the location details and the review details. I have used Firebase file storage database, and for image I have used Firebase storage. And both this location page and the location details page work together seamlessly, which provides great experience to the users to interact or get the required list what they want or to explore the locations that they are looking for. Next will be continued by
May I ask a question before you continue? Yeah. Who provides the location data? Who provides the images?
We're going to provide.
So the app owner or the company.
Yeah.
And okay. I mean, are you going to talk about the monetization?
No, not here. Like in the next coming slides.
Oh, okay. I mean, but today you're going to talk about monetization.
So the feature I worked on is mainly the social networking aspect or the connect aspect of it. So basically, when you go to the connect module as seen here, you can select from 3 tabs. The first tab lists all the posts regarding their experiences and locations which are specific to the user's home location. The second tab is all about posts that from the user's friends or the solo travelers that they're connected with. And the final tab is the displays all the posts that the user has uploaded, which is ordered by the posting date. And from there, they can also upload a new post. And so all these reviews get stored also on Firebase Firestore as well. So through the friend request feature, as you can see on the top over there, you can search for and connect with fellow travelers as well. And they just get listed over here based on whatever you enter in your search field. So the other thing I implemented was writing cloud functions for sending emails in a secure and more authorized manner. And these are triggered in the events of either sending friend requests or accepting friend requests as well. And another thing you can do is access your notifications. So that button up there, which is implemented with the badge widget. So you can access your notifications regarding friend requests, alerts, in-app promotions, and so on and so forth. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, the upload is done by clicking on that button over there. So it's about any location they visited prior, and they can set from there. They can access the form where they can select tags that are relevant to their visit, such as like pet friendly or avoid altogether or hidden gems, so on and so forth. They can attach photos, and this is where you can select your photos via the camera or via a custom gallery, which is pre-populated with images. And then from there on, you can even give starred ratings for wherever you visited. So now I'll hand it over to Pujita for talking about the maps.
So we have integrated the Google Maps here, and this is how it looks like. So it helps us. Yeah, this is how it looks like, and it gives the current live location, and it gives the live sharing option for the premium and the elite users. And there is a search option for the specific place, and it will redirect to other places as well. And there is a speech to text functionality which I have implemented to just by the speech text it will convert into a text, and it will give the place location on it. Next, coming to current location, fetching can be done, and as well as downloading offline maps. We can download offline maps. For basic we have given it as a 3, and for premium I have given it as 5, and for elite it is an unlimited for downloading when you are offline. And there are few error handling functionalities when there isn't any locations in the certain fields, or it is not able to derive any location. So there are few errors which we have given, and it is giving a real-time maps experience with us. So that's all I have done. And next is continued by Shian.
So the safety page basically supports the features for solo travelers, and it contains 5 main functionalities: location checking, sharing, and insurance. So for location checking, we fetch the data from user saved locations and add a checkbox to it, and users can mark the checkbox to check their travel lanes. And for the emergency content, the user can edit and delete the content to use image pickers to ask user permission to allow them to upload the images to the Firebase database. And in the live sharing page, we fetch the data from the database again, and users can get their locations and choose the emergency contact to live sharing their current locations. And also in the main page, there is a SOS option for users to call, and it will pop up an alert when it confirms that the users need that call.
So next we have everything related to the profile. So this is regarding signing up or creating an account, logging in, and also you can change your password if you forgot your password, and this all uses the Firebase services. And then also in the profile area, you have edit profile where you can change all your profile information like name, email, phone number, etc. And also, I haven't implemented it yet, but I also want to implement where you can change your password by using your existing password. You can also change this profile picture by uploading from the gallery or taking one from the camera when you go to edit profile. Save locations, as shown before on the location details page, there's a button that says save location. So this area shows the list of those locations, and then you can remove it from that list, and it will update through Firebase. Maps download network is basically where you can choose to download your maps through Wi-Fi or cellular data, or you can do both. Manage membership is this over here. So we have 3 ways of having memberships. You could have basic, which would be free for the user, premium, which would be $15.99 per month, and elite, which would be $29.99 per month. And this is basically how we would get money through the app. And each subscription has different features based on which one the user picks. So here you can choose your plan, and that will change what features you get throughout the other pages of the app. And then you have logout. So here you can just log out. It's a alert dialog that tells you after you whether they want to log out or not. It will take you back to this main page over here. Some things that I want to do in the future is integrate sign-in with Google, with your Gmail. Again, like I said, allow your user to change their password through edit profile. Synchronize some of the app bars throughout the entire app. I want to make the location a drop-down so the user can pick from specific locations, because right now it's just like a text field, so they just have to like type in the city name. I want to allow the user to go to the details, location details page that we showed earlier through the saved locations page, and then hopefully add an animation to the splash page if I have time. So next we're gonna go on to some of the difficulties that we encountered.
So as we mentioned before, currently there are still some difficulties that needs to be resolved. First, the filter. It is currently handled within the app since the Firefox does not support the 0-point-based filtering. So we may need advanced filter and text searches. Next, the voice-to-text conversion for the location search is also necessary. Maintaining the secure authorized access to sensitive data. We also need to add those features to our application. And finally, currently our application is also wanted to
So moving on to what's next, we want to implement pagination for the locations list, which is on the homepage. Integrate a search engine like Elasticsearch to replicate the data and enhance our search functionality. For the Connect tabs and the Connect module, we want to add the search and filtering for the posts that the users make, and also improve certain tab or screen transitions. We want to ensure that all our modules have error handling, so that could be like showing the user what the error is through a snack bar or an alert dialog, and we just want to make sure we have options for all the possible errors. We want to ensure that all the routes are valid, and that if it is invalid, it reroutes to a certain error page. And make sure that every page is accessible without any issues. We want to use material themes, so that could be for our snack bars or elevated buttons or anything like that, to ensure consistent UI to help with the branding of our app. And we also want to make sure that all our UI is usable, so the text is easily readable and the buttons work, and there's no overflow issues regarding the widgets that we use. And we also want to make sure that all our UI and our backend code is merged seamlessly. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're not going to do a demo on the app or not? Or is that on Thursday?
Thursday.
Okay, so the pages that you showed are going to be working on Thursday? Yes, it's a confident yes.
We can show a little bit, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. One second actually. Any questions, any comments from anybody? Yes?
How did you do the background on the login page?
I used ChatGPT. I described like
What you wanted?
what I wanted, and then
Oh, okay,
gave
I
it
see.
the like.
Can you show me? I missed that.
The login page has a background with the button, and like everything is on top of it. So I was just wondering how. Is it a stack?
It's a stack, yeah.
It's a stack, okay.
Oh, just the background. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. One more question, actually. I still don't understand the social feature of the app. So how is one thing that comes to my mind is that people who have actually visited somewhere you can get their location data and you know that they have visited it. So then you can put them together with the people that have actually visited that place. Like that could, but how else do you connect people? Like randomly or?
Yeah, you just search for people who you want to follow. It can be anybody from your area. It can be anybody who shares the same interests as you. So if you click on that friend request button, you can search for that person and try connecting with them, and then you get an alert saying you want to connect with that person. Then the email will be sent to them. So the tabs are just for filtering based on your one for your home location.
But what would it be like, for example, if there is a location that I want to go, and there are certain other people that want to go there as well, but I don't want to go alone, and there are some people who put their names down as wanting to go, and then you can pair up these people to go jointly.
So it's like so I think so what you're suggesting is like a wish list based connecting with people or something like that.
Well, something like that. Like I want to see, I don't know, I want to go and see the Golden Gate Bridge, and have a picnic there or something. Maybe there are other people who want to do that. Maybe I want to go together with them. So if they put a wish list like that, if I put something like that, like this weekend or next weekend, etc., I can go between these hours, then you can make like a group there to explore it.
So right now there is no implementation for connecting based on whoever shares the same locations in the wish list as you do. But I think that's something that could be included in future plans. Right now it's just based on local.
No, what I'm saying is there has to be a catch to connect people. Like, what is the impetus for me to go and try to connect with someone? Just I see their picture on the image, and what is it that makes me connect to that person? Like,
basically, Professor, it's a kind of solo app. So why we are giving the connect? Because if someone like you have been to that place, and I would like to get the details where you have been and what places you have explored and what is the food items you have explored there. So to get those kind of details, we are following and connecting with them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Very good. And on Thursday we see the real deal.
Sure.
And you'll make a video as well.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Who's going next? Is that okay? How are you guys? Good? Did you sort it out? Everything?
Yeah.
Getting there?
Our presentation.
Okay. Very good.
Hi guys. This is our
All right, presentation starting. Let's get quiet.
Yeah. Focus is basically like a productivity app, and its target users who require assistance in maintaining focus and in look to improve time management and enhance productivity. So basically, we have 6 main modules like gyro sensor, analysis, visualization, reward box, simple navigation, and Firebase, and productivity provider, of course. So what's next is we're gonna offer a maybe 25.
20.
20?
We don't have.
Okay, so we're gonna offer like a demo video. It's like a brief walkthrough of what we've done. Awesome. What? Okay, what's next? That we're going to walk through the implementation of the mean core functionality language. So first of all, there will be authentication and routing. That's a pretty pedestrian part. It's let's walk through the logic, and after we start the app, the first is the splash animation. We use a flag called splash complete to trigger the event. If it's true, it means complete. It redirects to the authentication block. If it's false, they will wait until the animation complete. When it redirect to the authentication block, basically management different authentication status. You use different authentication state for it, and also we use Go router for multi-page redirection. Can redirect between the different pages. So basically the flows first of all you log in the page, and if you haven't signed up yet, it will redirect you to the sign up page. You enter your email password and verify it. If complete, go to home page. If not, and back to the sign up page. And in the home page, you can redirect to the following pages with the same Go router mechanism. Okay, so next we're going to talk about our timer logic.
So in the next few minutes, I will explain something about the timer logic. First, I want to clarify that we have two timers. One is the foreground timer. It locates in the root widget in a provider. Note, it is in the root widget, which means the information in the provider persists as long as the app is alive. And the timer can be going on without being disturbed by the navigation. This is slightly different from the page-based data, which might be lost during the navigation. And the other timer is in the background. It locates in the background service. Usually is displayed on the locked screen. Okay, let's start. So the first ground timer, you can look at the left side of the dotted line, and I'd like to split it to two stages, set up and counting down. For the set up part, you can look at the blue cycle here. We use a variable named duration. So obviously it is for how long the timer is, and the setting process is start from the provider here. So the initialize with 25 when the app launches, and then the Go router will redirect you to the home page. On the home page, it will fetch the default duration from the provider and the display. So you can see a timer widget with 25. If you don't like the 25, you can click it, and this will bring you to the setting page. Here you reset the new duration and use the down button to update it to the provider. And the down will also bring you back to the home page. So on the home page, again, it will fetch the new duration and the display. So the setting part is over, and you can start to focus. You click the focus button, it will bring you two things. One is set the duration value to the variable named the remaining time in the provider. This variable is who really responsible for the counting down mechanism. And now it is no longer to be 0 with the initialize. The timer is ready to go. And the other thing the focus bring is to navigate to the counting page. On the counting page, the init state will fire up the timer to let it go. And another thing here is a consumer about the provider. So you can listen to the changes of the remaining time every second. And it can rebuild the timer widget. So you have a dynamic timer on the page. So next we'll go to the background. So in the background, you don't have the friendly UI to see the timer, so you need to build the second timer by yourself. Here are the main part. First, I think we need an observer to monitor the life cycle of the app. And another important thing is to build the channel and the handler to enable the communication between the foreground and the background. Next, we need to build a service to do the repeat task
to let the timer counting down and notice it to the screen. So for the notice part, on the locked screen, you can see the timer inside, and you also can build some action button like close or reset. My teammates will give you more details about that. Thank you.
Now it's come to another core functionality. Sensors, in sensor we use gyroscope, and we use another package called Sensor Plus for this implementation. So logic is basically like sensors capture device's regional movements through different coordinates, and raw data gets processed and filtered through device sensor API. And finally, process value trigger UI updates like screen rotation and in-app motion controls. This is like the brief walkthrough of what the logic looks like. It's pretty like easy enough. Okay, so what's next is like the implementation. So there are basically two scenarios for the gyroscope implementation. First one is homepage animation. So we use different handlers. First is like tilting handler. After you initialize the gyroscope, like you use like some equation to transfer the accelerometer parameters to angles showing degree, which is for like the much more convenient for future updates. And like you use different tilt handler for, if you like tilting right, you show success kitties. If you're tilting left, you show the failure kitties.
I didn't understand what the tilting is for. What is the? I mean, it shows the cats at the moment, but what functionality does it have?
Oh, you mean it?
What's the purpose?
This is a counter. The counter is like related to the times of like each time you fail the focus or you success focus. Yeah, so it's just like a record. If you
successfully complete a session, you get a white cat.
Yeah.
And if you fail one session, you get a white cat.
Yeah.
So it will reflect in the homepage.
Yeah. It's like for better user experience. Yeah. You can know like so far like how many focus sessions you successfully finished and how many of them you failed. We'll try to make it in a like the more interesting way.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's just some
showing the record.
Yeah,
Oh, this is just showing the record. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Okay, so just like this. Another part is gyroscope for timer. So for the core functionality, we need to talk a little bit about the logic. So after the timer starts, first of all, we in the initialization phase, there's a grace period. So during the grace period, you can quit the timer at any time without any penalty, which means you won't get a failure record, you won't get a black kitty. And when the grace period ends, it will become the serious part. The monitor start work. Yeah, it start to listen to the gyroscope events, and if it complete without any interrupt, it will update a success record to the Firebase storage. And if it got movement detected for first time, it will send you like a warning dialog. And after warning dialog, it will enable a 5-second cooldown to make you to place your phone. And after that, it will return to detection. And if you move your phone for second time and it detected, it will show the failure record, and the failure record got updated to the Firebase storage. So it's the implementation of that part. Just the initialization gyroscope and set a threshold for which determine the sensitivity of the sensor. And if you are in the grace period, just skip those steps below. And for the movement calculation, if the movement is below the threshold and it hasn't showed any dialog yet, it will show the first warning dialog. And if has already shown the warning dialog, it will directly lead to the failure dialog. And after that, it will redirect to the home page. And next is the chart page.
So let's look at the chart page of our app, which provides a visual summary of user performance. At the top, users can switch between day, week, month, and year views using a tab bar. The time frame selector dynamically displays the time frame user selected. And to offer a quick insight, success and failure counter shows the session outcomes. The main feature is the chart panel, presenting a donut chart with task-specific breakdowns. If there's no data available, an encouraging message appears instead. Now let's see how this page works behind the scenes. We've designed the architecture to keep the UI separated from the logic to ensure that our app is scalable and easy to maintain. In the distance logic layer, the selection qubit manages the time frame selection, and the data fetching qubit is responsible for fetch data based on the selected time frame and processes it into states like loading, loaded, and empty. In the data layer, we use cloud functions to retrieve the session data with all session records stored in Firestore. Bring it all together. When the user selects a time frame, the time frame selector updates the time frame by using the selection qubit. This action will trigger a data request via the data fetching qubit to the cloud functions, which will fetch the relevant data from Firestore. The data fetched will then processed into one of 3 states, and the UI will update accordingly using the log builder. Loading shows a spinner while fetching the data. Loaded updates the counter and chart with the new information, and empty shows an empty data panel if there's no data to show. Next, let's talk about how we integrated iOS live activities into our app. Since we couldn't find a Flutter package that met our needs, so we built a bridge between Flutter and native iOS by coding in both Dart and Swift. On the Flutter side, the Live Activity Manager communicates with the iOS native layer using a method channel and sending data like activity and tag, duration, and start or stop commands. On the iOS side, the app delegate sets up the method channel and forward the commands from Flutter to native logic. The Live Activity Manager uses the activity kit to create and manage the live activities on the lock screen and dynamic island. The app intents allow users to interact with the live activity directly, like canceling the timer. The method channel handles the two-way communication between Flutter and the iOS native layer. So here is how it works. When the user starts or stops the timer in the Flutter app, the Live Activity Manager will send a start or stop command to the iOS side through the method channel. The iOS receives the command in app delegate and then updates like request or end the live activities by using the Live Activity Manager. If the user cancels the timer from the live activity, the app intents will handle this interaction. It will send the cancel flag back to the Flutter in another method channel called cancel channel. And on the Flutter side, the timer will receive this flag and stop the update its state.
Beyond the functionality, we also do a lot of fundamental work to speed up coding efficiency and keep our UI consistency to make sure we can deliver our project on time. Since we use our customized UI to get more control over our appearance, we didn't use any templates or random color generated by a theme builder. So the first step for us is to unify our color and font usage in our UI design. And then we need to update the theme and the util files to strictly follow the UI design in Figma. And we also define our own app color and app font class for easy usage. So after setting that, the theme usage for our team members is easy. Anyone who develops specific pages can simply refer the design value in Figma and then use the predefined color and font in Flutter with the matching name for the UI consistency. This mechanism also works in reuse components such as our customized icon component. Just follow these 2 steps.
And now let's talk about how we level our user experience in our app. From the video, you may mention that you may notice that we have our character design in our app. While we want to build a powerful focus tool to our user, we also want to have a stronger connection to them. So the branding helps us to bring our app closer to them. So introducing the character is the first step we do. We create our character, a little cute kitty, and to add the affinity to the app. And we also abstract some characteristic from this character, such as the curve characteristic, and we apply them to design our app, such as the font and the icon. We just apply those characteristics on them. So let's make our app unique to other apps to leave a memorable impression to our user. And another way we improve our user experience is by adding animation. We apply different animation we learned from the class to our app and combine them to serve different purpose. For example, here for the implicit animation, we combine two implicit animation in one animation, such as the animated rotation and the animated scale. Yeah. We also do the splash screen animation to let the user to see our logo and our app name here. And we also use a hero animation. By using this, we can fly our duration from the home page to the counting page. And we also experimented with the non-code-based animation, and we use the third-party animation, such as Rive, to create our animation. And Rive has state machine control that can interact with the value in the Flutter. So by using the Rive, we can trigger the cat paw animation from the right or left based on the slider the user use. This is some implementation for code for animation. And we also apply the responsive UI to our code because we want to support multiple platforms. We just use a responsive framework package that our classmate bring to us. And we set a responsive breakpoints on top of our material app to apply the effect through the whole app.
So there's some difficulties we face during our development. One is like we try to use it, try to develop like an Android-based app, and we face some difficulties. It has a residual timer notice. This might because like in the backend, the background lifecycle, there are basically three status: paused, detached, and resumed. So when it's in paused, it's pretty chill. Yeah, everything works fine. But when it comes detached, maybe the background like the notice, the whole period is too short, so it got missed when the disposing procedure. So we have figured out some kind of like brute force solution. We just add a button on the notification page, and you can shut it down manually. But yeah, there may be some like better way. Since we use it in iOS, we use some certain function to override the procedure. I believe there's something maybe at the same effect in Android operating system. And there's some integrations of our app about the core functionalities. And future work, maybe adding support for multiple language, probably Chinese at first. Think about it, the huge market. And second, maybe the offline accessibility, since maybe offer like better user experience. We post some like data synchronization when you're using Go Router to redirect between different pages, and update the data from in time. And third one is like maybe the most important part after we push it official online is about memberships and subscription. Maybe we can make profit of it but maybe you still got a long way to go after we have made our app pretty solid. We have like solid user community. We can use that kind of mechanism. And last one is some customizable activity tags, which enable user to design their own tags, improve the user experience. So last but not least, you can join us at beta tester. We have released our app on test flight. Here are the links. Yeah, you feel free to use it, and any opinions are really valuable to us. Yeah, and thanks so much.
Yeah, very good. One comment. I mean, what would be nice is that what I would love to have, personally, is I would put like a 10-minute timer, and during that time, my phone is automatically put into do not disturb mode. There's no dings, nothing. And also, if I in any way go and use the phone, it marks like a negative on the thing. So if I ever change if I change the app from the foreground and use the phone for Instagram or something while I'm trying to work, it should give me like a bad mark and so on and so forth. And also you should report these to the parents. So the kids can get like
parental control.
Not just parental control, but also rewards. Like if they can show that they actually haven't used their phone for 3 hours in the evening between 7 and 10 when they should be studying, then they get some brownie points or like candy or whatever. All right. Thank you very much. Very nice. Guys, we have an issue. We've just run out of time we have only 55 minutes for the end of the lesson. So is there any group that would rather go next week, next session? You guys would prefer going next, so you guys would not do today? Prefer? Okay, that's good. Anybody else that would prefer not to do today? Okay. You're also, okay, good. Then we have only 3 left. So let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll finish the next 3, okay? And then you guys, so your app is on test flight, but for the next class, please do a screen record.
We have like a demo video for the areas.
How do you do that video? How do you do the video? Are you a graphic designer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
That's just kinda
like 10 years of experience. Yeah.
How many years?
No.
Just joking. Just kidding. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, okay. So wait a second, where is the, okay, I'll put a link so you can upload your stuff. Okay, I'll make a link now. Who's gonna go next? It seems like nobody wants to take a break. Who wants to go next? So these guys are not doing, that guy, they are not doing. So 1, 2.
Can I make any difference? Like I'm basically
1,
on time.
2, 3. We have 3 to go. Okay, very
What I've
good.
been saying for days.
So, you guys gonna go next?
I can go.
You guys okay? You guys decide who's going to go next. All right. You can get set up.
The only good thing we have is on his plastic.
Supervisor back.
I can go first and fill, and then you can fill in the. What I want. The authentication, everything. Everything I did. Yeah. Quickly.
They go first while you guys are deciding. Yeah? Okay. Shinze? You guys want to go next? Yeah, they are still deciding what to do, so you guys go next.
Like I have, like
Come on, it's okay. You'll catch up next
like I can go
session.
over like what happened with authentication.
哎，你这是什么意思？你这个后面什么意思？
对，然后我们后期加声音这样。也可以，也可以。录音机跟屏幕不同。对对。那非常简单的。
And then you guys can show what you guys did.
Splash screen.
Oh, sorry.
Does yours have a?
Does yours have a phone? I'll try. It's working.
Hi everyone. We designed a Digigo app, and it connects students and professionals with skilled chefs for personalized meal and preparation. It allows people to choose the chefs and specific meals. And we have 5 functionalities. One is the user authentication and account management. And the second is chef and meal selection. And third is Google Maps API used to current location initialize and address selection. And the fourth is reservation and order management. And this app integrated with Firebase and Google Maps. And I was in charge in the sign in and sign up and password reset pages. So we start the demo. This is splash screen. And firstly, we enter the account. Yeah, we enter the home page, and you have search and order and profile. So we log out. Assume we forgot our password. So we enter the and we can we can see we received the reset password. And we reset the password. And we reset to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we back to the sign in page. And then we can sign in again. So we log out. Assume we have no account and want to sign up. So we need to we set up, and the verification email was sent. So we go to the we receive it, and we So it pop out your mail has been verified. So we can go back. Then we successfully sign up and log into this app. So we log out, and Xinle will introduce.
Next step is after we have signed in, we have our home page, which is like this, and in this home page, needs my account to sign in. It's stuck, so it's okay. And in this home page, we have the home, the search, the order, and the user profile. And here we have some recommended chefs, and we have also a search button to search the specific chefs, and we have also a search page which can search the specific chef, and it can sort it either by rating or by their name. And the next step is the chefs. We can see there's a chef detail page. It has his name, his photo, and his cushion category and the rating. And we also have a time and date selector for the users can select the time and date they want to order the deal. And we have 3 kind of packages. One is the package for 2 to 4 persons. The other is 4 to 6 and 6 to 8, and we have their prices. For here, we can select the date and the exact time. And for this example, it has showed the package for 2 to 4 persons. We can select from these options, and we click the confirm. It will go to the chef confirm page, which will be shown by my roommates.
And in the chef confirm page, and you can see like there's the reservation date and time you select, and the reservation summary, which are the dishes you select, and the payment method, which you can edit and enter your credit card info, and the home address, which is like where you want to have the meal. Like the chef will come to you and go to this address and cook for you. And after click the confirm page, and the order will goes into the upcoming reservation tab, and which will show all the upcoming reservation and include the date, time, and the address. And whenever the order reservation has completed, the order will appear on the past reservations, and like you are able to rate the experience of your reservation. And you can see there's a little button on the right of each reservations, and when we click on it, you can see the specific reservation detail, and which includes the like when and what you have for the reservation. And I also create the user profile page, and which got your name on it, and your phone number, email, and your currently address, and which all linked to the Firebase and editable, which you can change the infos and save to your user account.
So for our address systems, we integrated the Google Maps API and geolocator. Google Maps API is used to render the maps, and geolocator is used to convert between the coordinates and the address the full address. There's the features like when a user accesses the map, it automatically initializes at their saved address or their current location if no address is saved. And then the user can drag the map or move the marker to pick a new address. The address updates dynamically as they move the marker. Once the user selects an address, it is saved in our database, ensuring the address is consistent across the app. And we also have a user-friendly interfaces display the selected address in the real time, providing immediately feedback. And for the Firestore, we have two collections in our Firestore. One is users and one is orders. So the users collections will store the user's profile information like email, address, the name, the phone. And for the orders collections, we store the information about the orders details, like the chef's name, chef's photo, and the rating you give for these orders, and also the dishes you selected for this order.
But where is the information about the chefs and foods?
We store in the local. We hard-coded in our code.
Okay, but that's not the greatest implementation, right?
Yeah.
Or is this something you need to do further?
Yeah.
It's an improvement. Fantastic. All right.
For the difficulties we met during our project is first thing is the mismatch between Firestore data structure and the queries. At first I implement the reservation date and reservation time as strings, but however it doesn't match up with the Firestore and Firestore queries, and the Firestore queries requires them to be timestamp format for date-based filtering. So I convert the reservation date and reservation time to timestamp during the reservation creation. And the second one is the Firestore index, the query requiring complex conditions, like filtering by a user ID or the orders or reservation dates, and which requires Firestore composite index that weren't automatically created. I just worked on it for a couple of hours to figure out I have to manually create the index for the queries. And the third difficulty is...
Wait a second, manually, but usually it gives you a little click button to create it, right?
Yeah, but if you don't print out the error message, it won't show up. You have to manually...
But we covered this actually in class.
Yeah. And for the dynamic updates in user profile, editable fields like the user's address and phone number requires dynamic updates to Firestore and real-time reflection on the screen. Yeah, so we implement dialogues for editing fields and link them directly to Firestore updates. We mainly integrate the Google Firebase for authentication and the Firestore for data storage, and we achieve the email verification. And secondly, we achieve the Google Maps for location-based features, like current location initialization, address selection, and it also integrates with Firebase. It can store the address into the Firebase. So, and it can achieve the real-time user feedback, like the address will immediately appear in the user profile.
For the next step, we're going to do is the first one, we need to beautify the UI, and we also have to improve our payment method. And the third, we can try to implement some Firebase cloud messaging. And the fourth, we can try to add some membership and subscriptions. And the five, like the professor said, we can add the chef information into the Firebase. Yeah, so that's all for our
Very nice. So we're gonna see the demo on the app device or not?
Yeah.
On Thursday or now?
On Thursday it's okay.
On Thursday. You can show it now if you have it.
Yeah, we can show it now.
We have 3-4 minutes.
We got basic functionalities working.
Next, you guys, yeah? Oh, actually, you showed that already. Yeah, that's fine.
It's only a part of it.
We can show the adding order reservation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can select the chefs and date and time. If I select make reservation for right now, and it will go into the
Wait a second, does that screen scroll down? It's fine. It's fine, it's fine.
I think it is scrollable.
Okay,
it is
good.
scrollable. I'm just not a Mac user, so.
Okay.
And this will go to the past reservations, which because I just select reservations for right now, which will compare the timestamp, and which will and you can create another. And you can create another one for Friday and 7 p.m. And you can change your addresses here.
Okay, but the other one took the reservation without you putting an address. So it shouldn't allow you to make a reservation without putting your address.
There should be a default addresses, and
And also we can choose our address using the Google Maps. For example, I choose this 579 as our address. And from here, it's updated in our profile. And when we order again, then that will be our address. But yeah, if we don't have an initialized address, we shouldn't let the user make an order.
Okay.
We can just put a validation when in that order confirmation page.
Yes.
If the address is empty or an empty string.
I think, but those are important things. Like, those are the things that take 80% of the time, even though they're only 20% of the app.
Yeah.
You know the 80-20 rule? Okay, very good. Thank you. Oh, and there's a little busted text there.
Yeah.
So how are we going to fix that?
So because we get the address from the Google Maps, so it's a long address, so it's causing the overflow. So the text length is too long.
Yeah, but there are ways to fix it.
Yeah,
So we have to find that out.
Yeah, we can catch.
So Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Long address, no busted UI. Excellent. Thank you very much. So I'm most curious about your app, the game. I'm very curious about your app, the game.
We have the front end starting on its own, and the back end, that the entire logic that we created for the back end using AI, that is also working on its own. We are just working out with the integration part. I think you'll really like the AI part of the thing, like how we are managing all the logic directly, like not hard coding everything.
Excellent. I love the graphics when I first saw it.
Booting it up.
So hi everyone. For our app, we just made a kind of like a sports match event management application where you can register for events coming up and like games. It's basically inspired by kind of like me having games on one day at a week, basically. And so this is a way where you can just look at events like games happening nearby, and you should be able to say I'm going and make a team beforehand. We couldn't connect before, so sorry that we have two presentations, but I'll just quickly go over my contributions to the project, and then my teammates can go over their contribution as well. So I'll just briefly go over the area. So the first one is authentication, but this ones we saw them in class, so I'm not going to focus too much in it. It's just Firebase authentication. So you sign in with your email, password, create an account, recover the password if you have to, etc. Very basic demo, like very similar to how we went in class, but the only difference with this one is that the authentication block also holds more information about the user, like your name and email and so forth.
So I don't know if you guys noticed this group saved the UID from the authentication package into their user database. They use the same ID, right?
Yes. We also do the same.
You do the same, excellent.
Yeah. Then we also did, set up the material team, similar to how the other group went over. Although I'm not a graphic designer, so I just pick a color palette, did not make my own from Canva. We got these fonts from Google, and we followed this documentation to go over how to set the global styling on the app and just apply it everywhere, basically. And created just a simple logo in wiz.com, which you can actually do a lot in it. Didn't even know. In it, over here, we just have like a custom class with our colors hard coded, and then we applied it globally on the primary color, secondary color, and whatnot. And specifically, we had to override a lot when it came to the inputs, the styling of the inputs. So, for example, when the state contains an error, we wanted to use the light error color instead of having just white, right? So this is how basically the global setup was for the styling of the app. For the hour sensor, we decided to use GPS, so it will recommend you what are close nearby. However, this was a lot of work, so we started with a very simple app that is just simply asking you to get your current location, and then it's gonna display latitude and longitude and the address. It's also gonna do the permission, either in iOS or Android. And then the text box at the bottom, it's for you to type in the address, hopefully where the game will be happening, and it will do suggestions from Google Maps API. And once you select an address, we'll calculate the distance between them. All of these components will later be integrated into our app because we need all this we need all this functionality to be able to suggest events that are happening nearby. So then the next one will be how we integrated it. And as you can see, once you select a sport type, we actually show you the events that are closer to 100 kilometers. Ideally, in the future, people can actually select their own radius, like how far would they be able to travel. And when you create the game, we reuse the same component. So we have a reusable component for the autocomplete of suggestions, for address suggestions. And it's used whenever you want to change the location or whenever you're hosting a game. So coming into the app, it will request you to say if you want to allow the app to get your permission, and if you were to grant it, then it would show the the events that are nearby to you, but you still have the option to change the location. And here's the reusable widget that we have. And if you were to change it to New York, then we recalculate, and then we only show the ones that are within 100 kilometers. So there's nothing in New York. If you were to go back into the settings and then you say like, I want to prevent the app from getting the location, then we would stop you saying like please either enable the location or set an address so that we can know which events to show you. And then it's the same autocomplete where you can pick, Santa Clara University, anything around Santa Clara University will be shown. So here's how it basically works. In this section, technically, the phone does not have location services enabled. So I picked New York, and as you can see, there's no events in New York. Then in the new form, it's reusing the same widget, the one with the address suggestion from the Google API. And once it can create an event in New York, then it should show up when you go back to the location, and so there it is. And if I were to change the location, let's say to Florida, then technically nothing should show up because there's no events happening in Florida. For the animations, I combined the animations from, there's a confetti package that you can use that is to create confetti, and it's very extensive. We'll go over it. Explicit animations to show a label go up saying like you're going to the game. And I found a whole app about Rive app. Do you know? I mean, you're more into that. I just found out, and it's amazing. I love
What is it? What is it?
There's like an editor about animations, but if you have to be more like involved in graphic design to be able to do that, I'm not. So I just went to the communities, pick one, and then I changed the color so they will match our colors.
Rife, is it called Rife?
Rife, yeah. I'll go over it.
Right.
And they have amazing stuff out there, like it. So over here, there's a lot happening, and for the filled in button, the button that shows you the progress, that one was completely custom made, and it's reusable. And I'll give you the code in case anybody wants to like use it. It's very usable. So in this one, you can see this one is the Rive animation, and I wanted it so that confetti will come out every time it bounces, and so it was a little tricky to do that part. It was a challenge because the animation is considered a simple animation and it's just going in a loop, right? But a more appropriate way to do it, the correct way to do it, is for me to change it into a stateful animation where we can have events. It's like the ball touched the ground, the ball reached the top, the ball is moving, or the ball is not moving, whatever. Then in the Flutter pop package for Rive, you can listen to the events and then you can trigger stuff. So because this is a simple animation, all I have is a progress going from 0% to 100%. So, and then it will go back and then it will circle. So once it was going around 50%, it would initialize the confetti, which is from the other package. Then this one, they can wait until the 7 seconds are done, so that it will take you to my games page, or they can actually shortcut it and click it, like in this one. You see that they clicked it. You cannot see my hand maneuver here, but in this case, I don't. It was very interesting how to do the animation because it's a reusable widget. So if anybody wants to use like a progress fill-in animation, I made it very customizable so that this is how it looks by default, but you saw how it can match our styling completely. And the functionality is there. All you have to pass is what's inside, like the label, what's the child of the button, and then pass in a delegate, like a function pointer, that will be invoked whether someone pressed it or it was completed. In this case, it will take you to the my pages, my app pages. And we also did Firebase in-app messaging. However, I did not style it that much. It's just saying hello, welcome. And we went over this over class, so I'm not gonna go over the details. And we also set up the data, the Firestore database, so that we're also saving more information about the user, like name and whatnot. hopefully, obviously in the future, we wanted to also have like some sort of level into it. Like the more games that you play, you can start from rookie all the way to pro. And I basically did an animation showing all the games that you're going, but I can only do so much in time. And here's how it's been saved into the database. And same thing with the user ID. We were walking over. So here are the integrations that I was saying. The first three we did go over class. The confetti package, it's very extensible, and I think I'll just show you the demo. So, wait, what happened? Where is it? So the demo, you can see how you can use the confetti package to create basically a lot of confetti, like a lot. And then the Rife animations, it's actually.
You see, we're running a bit out of time. So.
Okay. Well, anyways, you just go to
very
Rife.
expensive, yes.
Yeah, it's
very good.
pretty good. And,
so we will have this uploaded to the thing, and I will share it with everyone. These slides.
And this was my challenge. I tried to speed up the builds in Xcode because they were taking too long. And after a whole morning, we just dropped it. You can use pre-built binaries in it. You download them, reference them in your pop file, and still manage to. And I guess the things that we would like to do is like the player ranking that I mentioned, also support like some sort of fundraiser so people can fundraise their games. And that way we can monetize it by getting a cut out of it. And kind of like better tools, like a map, so they can select the positions they'll be playing and all that kind of stuff. That's all I have from my side. My team can go over and use the Git repository in case anybody wants to look into the code, maybe the reusable button, and you can take it.
So how can we just understand a little bit how the team has worked?
Team is a strong word.
Yeah, now it's starting, and it has white noise. Yeah, and we plan to make it like customizable in the future.
Hey everyone, I'm Hardik, and we have actually made a mistake of reading instructions for this, so we actually made one slide per each member. So here, this is a sports page. So I've done Firebase DB functions and a response AUR. This is a first entry page, which we get into after we log in. So you see these grid tiles. These are fetched from Firebase Firestore. There is a collection called sports, and we have these images and a sport ID, which we click on so that we get navigate to the respective sport events. So here the navigation is set through set path parameter called sport ID. So I mean, if you click on softball, you should be able to only see the softball sport events that are happening. So we use the set parameter and the sport ID. So once you click on the, so for the tile we used grid view, we used the widget grid view builder, and so we used, we only wanted 2 columns per row. So what we did was we used cross-axis count, which we kept it to 2, and there is like consistent spacing and between the items and the images. So we used main axis spacing and cross-axis spacing, and we set it to 16. So if we click on any of the tile, it navigates to the particular sport events that are happening in that sport. So you'll see things like this is the sport event page. You'll see things like the sport event, and we used the list object, sport event list object, which has like when it's happening, it's an event start time, it's a timestamp data type, and where it's happening, it's a location and the name of the event, and the host document reference, and a list of strings where, you know, if I get registered and my UUID gets placed into that registered users. And there is also two numerical data types, which are number of slots available and the total number of slots. So I've performed these functions. So the first one is get events for sport. So what it does is, first of all, we have a Firestore document collection called event collection. So the list object gets matched to that Firestore document. So if the sport ID in the events collection is equal to the sport that I'm clicking on, so that events are going to be fetched, and in that, so the event start time which we have over here. So if the event start time is greater than the timestamp now, then only we are going to see the events in. If it happened in the future past, then we do not need to see, because we cannot even register or unregister for the past events.
I just failed.
It's okay. It's okay.
So there is a toggle function over here which shows the available slots. If the number of slots are more than 0, you're going to see it on this side of the page. And if they are less than 0, like for example, I'll show you a demonstration of that. See here, there is only one slot available. I clicked on that slot, so it must be done, right? It won't show. It will only be shown in the available side, and it will be shown it as full. So I use set state to show which side we are on, like if you're on the available side or the unavailable side. And the next thing I've done was register for event. So if I click on register for event, what happens is my logged in UUID gets passed into the list of strings, which is the register for registered users in the events collection. So what I used there was field value dot array dot union, array union, and when I click on register, there's one more thing that should happen, which is the number of slots available should reduce. So for that, we used field value dot increment by -1, and the same thing happens if I unregister. So the field value gets incremented by 1, and because I'm already registered, my UUID is going to be in the registered users for that event collection, and it will remove it by through field value dot array remove. And yeah, I've also done responsive UI. So I've used media query safe area. So what it is so the scaffold nav bar, which you see over here, if I do not use, if I run it for like iPad 13 inches, so what it does, it will still have the same sized nav bar over here. The icons are going to be small. So what we have done for that is to increase the icon size, we used media query dot size dot width. So if the width size increases, the icon size increases. The same thing for the font. So here earlier I said that we use cross axis count as 2. So this the one which you see over here and this will be in the same size, because we haven't done anything to it. So in order to make sure that it gets filled to the page, so we used a dynamic cross axis count, which is if it's like below 450 px wide, it's going to have a cross axis count of 2. If it's like 600 to 900, it's going to have cross axis of 3. That means 3 columns. If it's more than 900, it's going to have 4, and vice versa. And so yeah, the safe area is the thing, so that there won't be any system UI overlap, so that it will be where we want.
Just we have one more team and 15 minutes left.
I'll keep it short and simple. So I've designed a form which is a staple widget. So the form contains these fields: the game name, the address where the game is going to host, the number of players, and the number of empty spots that the game host decides, and the game date and time. It's a picker. And we have 3 events called the create the event, edit the event, and delete the event.
So the host, once he creates the event, apart from these, we also have the sports event model that we created that's going to collect other information based on the authentication block that we have, like the user ID and the other details. So all these get sent into the database, and then the user also has the edit and delete event, which are going to recall the state that's already there, and then work on it. We also have a user page that has the picture and name and emails that are collected in the initial login state. And we also have a splash screen that's at the beginning of the application that displays join play, where the ball keeps bouncing instead of the event. And we're gonna work on more material theme and UI for better user experience, because sometimes these colors it's not good.
So I worked on events management. So events here are nothing but the games that the user registers. So I have worked on future events, past events, and the hosted events. So future events is nothing but when the user registers. So it has to be shown in the My Games tab, this tab here, My Games. So whenever the user registers it, so we'll be using the timestamp, and we will filter those. So we'll write a condition for that. So if the timestamp is more than the present time, so it is an upcoming event. So it will be stored as a future event, and it will be rendered in the front end in the future games. And another one is past events. For that, the same thing, it will check the timestamp for that. If it is less than, if it is already past the time that the event was registered, it will be shown in the history page. This is the one, past history page. So it will be shown in the front end. And the hosted events. So for that, in My Games, we have used one for registered events and one for the hosted events. So the user might want to see the registered games as in one tab, and the hosted events, the one he is going to host. So he might want to host a game and invite people for it. So those data will be in the hosted events. So this toggle button will show the registered events and hosted events here. Whenever it toggles between these two options, so the respective data will show at registered events and the hosted events. And that's the thing. So for the hosted events, how it works is we will check whenever the user logs in, we are using the login user ID of his, and we will be checking with the, so we have a host table in our database. So we'll be storing host ID. So if the user ID and host ID is same, so that means he is the one who is hosting that game. So then we will send that data to host side, hosted event side. And next one is the last one.
So we had difficulties when we also had the plan of implementing Google authentication. So when we're doing this, we had the issues setting up the keys and configuration setup. So we're still working on it to make it work. And then image picker for profile picture is another thing that we're currently working on the profile page for the people. And also one of the difficulties that we faced is document type issues, since we collect a lot of data from the user and passing them inconsistently across different pages. Kind of made problems at the start of the project, so we had to spend some time resolving those issues and errors.
So we will see the app on Thursday. But
We can run it now. But yeah.
Oh, you can run it?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay, let's do it on Thursday, because let's go with the other team. But thank you very much. Very nice. I actually like the UI a lot. It looks very crisp, the font. So, okay. So you guys are going to show the screen. They've already shown the screen. You're gonna fix that error. It's something called expanded. You put, if there is a text, you put expanded around it inside a column, and then it wraps the text around. Otherwise, it tries to blow the text across, and that gives you the error. So check that expanded. But expanded only works with inside the column or row.
No, only wait. I can present mine, but just with ours.
Yeah, because only my laptop can run the
Oh.
Here.
Okay. So why is this not?
I don't know. Let's try later.
Let's try to do it. Okay. So you'll show the app on Thursday.
Alright, so hello, we're group 1 and we'll be presenting our app Omni Wallet. I'm Lauren. This is Gia, Remy, and Priya.
Okay, so Omni Wallet is basically like a comprehensive app where you can track all your spendings, and it's intended for college students. And we created this app in the hopes that students will learn about financial practices and improve their financial literacy.
Okay, so I do the authentication, which is for user to sign in with email, sign out, and sign up with email. And if they forgot the password, they can go to forget password page, and then they can also do Google sign in. And I also have this two dialog shows up here, which is thank you for signing up and the password reset. And for the password reset, the user has to click OK in order to close it.
So I was working on the transaction page. So this page will mainly have some interaction with the transactions. So the top part, I had the action button to add the transactions, new transactions. So we do add the text format, which is a user just by tapping the details of the transactions, so then we can create this transaction and save it to the database, the Firebase. So another function is by taking picture of the receipt, but this function doesn't work because we have like the Gradle conflict, so we didn't make it work. So except that add the transaction. So actually we have the main part is the filter. The filter includes the search function, and also you can figure it out the transactions by selected date. We use the date picker, and also the category I used like the drop down for this function. Then so the lower part is in the middle is to display all the transactions. So when you can also click on each transaction and will lead you to the detail page. So the detail page so far, I didn't add any functionalities to modify the transactions. So it's just like display. I think that will be next stage to add some like editing.
Okay, so for me, I did the home page and the tracking page. Basically, these two pages track your, or like summarize your spendings, right? So when you first log into the app, you're directed to the home page, and the home page shows your daily spendings in a bar chart. So basically, right here, we're showing two categories, food and bills. So the green one refers to food, and then the blue one refers to bills. And in the bar chart, you can see how much of each you're spending each day. And then, so yeah, this fetches the data that was inputted in the slide that Gia talked about before with the transactions. And on the tracking page, it displays the categories in a pie chart, and animations are incorporated here. So yeah.
So one second, the tracking page needs to have a date range.
Oh yes.
Because that's a cumulative, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it needs a date range.
Yeah.
And selection like a date range, just like the Meow app. Is it called the Meow app? What was it?
Malfocus. Malfocus.
Meow Focus.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll add that.
Okay.
Okay, and then
so I did the navigation bar, which you can see down here. So it's good, just like, you know, we used a scaffold file that a professor provided us. But what we did was just to go with our color scheme. The background is blue, and then when you click on it, it's white, and then if it's unselected, it's gray. But the main thing that I did was the settings page. So at first, actually, I did a stateless widget, and then I realized that that was stupid, and I should have done a stateful widget because it's responses to UI. So what I did is there's a section for general. Language is English, that's going to stay the same. And then there's 3 different kinds of like toggles or options. So there's dark mode. So it'll be, you know, disabled, enabled, so it's light mode, dark mode. These for font size or small font or big font. And then for notifications, you can disable or enable those. And then down here, I connected it.
One second, Priya. With this switch, how do you put a tri-state on the dark mode? You just said 3 stages, right?
No, I just meant like dark and light.
Okay.
Either or.
2, yeah, okay.
And then in the bottom, so for account, right? Name and email is connected to Firebase. So this will update with your email and then your name, and then you can also edit your name. So there's like a dialogue there, and then Remy did log out. So.
And yeah, so this is the difficulty we met. The largest difficulty is this one, the main SDK version for Firebase auth, for the package Firebase auth. So it requires the main SDK version to higher than 23. So we hard coded to 23 and then hard coded other Gradle properties as well. And this is kind of how we solve this problem.
I run into the same.
But hang on, I just fixed this for you guys, right? This one. So this you don't need anymore because one of the packages that you were using, the FL chart, was a very old version. So when I put in the new version of FL chart into your code, you don't need that line in the build Gradle. Okay. But you still have to fix the image, right? You haven't implemented the image yet.
Yeah, it still doesn't work.
But it will work.
Yeah.
Because one of the requirements of the thing is to use one of the sensors of the device.
Question that so this.
Guys, can you please? I cannot hear it. Say, Gia.
When